Welcome to session 3 on Reignite Your Life with Christ. So today we are talking about dealing with fear and anxiety. So let's dive straight in. Is there any fear or anxiety that are preventing your growth emotionally, spiritually, physically? Is it affecting your walk with God, your relationship with Christ? Whatever those fears, anxious thoughts may be encouraged that you can deal with them. They can be dealt with. Perhaps you're not aware of it, but you're experiencing all these other symptoms. Perhaps these other symptoms have led you thinking something is wrong with you physically. Yes, anxiety can affect us physically. We can have physical symptoms associated with anxiety. Just some of these symptoms that you may experience could be restlessness. Perhaps you struggle to sleep. Are you experiencing any aches and pains? Are you irritable? Do you have difficulty concentrating? So I have an activity for you today and a couple of attachments to this video. So download them, fill them out and complete them. And I'm just going to talk through them with you right now. So the first activity you will see on there is what if? Okay, this is about defining your worst case scenario, preventing that from happening, and then repairing it all in advance. So we're going to be doing some visualization and some repair work. So you will see that you have what if blank. So you're going to write in the blank your what if according to your fears and anxiety. So say, for instance, you're anxious about sitting an exam. You might write, what if I fail the exam? And then in the box where it says define worst case, I want you to get detailed about what exactly it is you are fearing. So in order to do this, you're going to ask yourself, so what, for each case that you say. So we're starting off with, what if I fail my exam? So you would ask, so what? So in the next box, you will write your response to, so what if I fail that exam? So say, for instance, if I fail that exam, so what? I won't be able to get that job that I wanted. And then ask, so what again? I won't be able to pay my bills. And then continue this process. Keep asking, so what? Against each fear or anxiety that you are currently experiencing. So you're thinking about the worst case scenario when you ask, so what? And then fill that out. And then next you move over to the prevention. What could you do for each of your so what responses? So what could you do or ask someone to help you do to prevent each response from happening, even if it only decreases the likelihood of it happening by just 1%. Write down all your prevention actions that you could do in that box there, in that column. And then we're going to move on to repair. So for each cases, scenarios, if it did happen to you, what could you do to repair the damage or get back on track? So for each what ifs, each case, each scenario, write down what you could do to repair it. So with this activity, you are imagining or foreseeing or predicting, if you like, what could possibly happen if your worst fear or anxiety did occur. So we go back to the example of if I fail that exam. Okay, so if it did happen, if you did fail that exam, what could you do to repair it or get back on track? So in this case, you could rebook it, revise more, or change the way you study. Perhaps get additional help, but maybe a tutor, and then work your way down. So the next so what would be, I won't be able to get that job that I wanted. So how could you repair that situation? You could go back to writing in that box what you did for the first one. I will resit the exam. Or another alternative is there another job I could do? Perhaps you're taking a different path in your career life. And then the next one, I can't pay my bills. I won't be able to pay my bills. How could you repair that? Perhaps find another source of income. Get another little job on the side while you wait. Ask for help. There's no shame in that. Don't let pride get in the way. But as you can see, so you've defined the worst case scenario. You've come up with some preventative measures, what you could do to stop it from happening, and a repair too. So you've got all these down for each fear and anxiety that you have. So you're preparing and repairing in advance. And by doing this, it will help you see that perhaps your fear and anxiety isn't as big, isn't as overwhelming as you initially thought. See, our minds can start overthinking and we can get bogged down with fear. If you're focusing on that, I'm going to fail this exam, then that you repeating that, like we were talking about repetition earlier, you'll start believing that that is actually going to happen. But by breaking it down, finding the prevention and having a repair in place makes that original thought, fear and anxiety a lot smaller than you first perceived it. So I hope this activity helps. There are different resources for you to help you with this anxiety. So you've got that long-term help, that activity we've just done. But what if you're in the middle of an anxiety attack or a stressful situation? There are some immediate helpful tips you can practice and apply to your own life. Firstly, breathing. When you're in the middle of an anxiety attack or a stressful situation, your heart rate might increase. Perhaps you hold your breath, or perhaps you have rapid breathing. Learn to recognize this. When you're in those situations, or when you have another anxiety attack, ask yourself, how am I breathing? And there are a few things that you can do to counteract or balance out your breathing pattern. So whether you're breathing fast or holding your breath or breathing slow, recognize what it is doing. Take a deep breath and breathe out. There's this square breathing that you can do when you're in the height of this situation. So square breathing is, you've got 4 seconds for each. So you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you breathe out for 4, you hold for 4. I'll show you. So breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. And continue that pattern. That is known as square breathing, and it helps you to regulate your breathing. So instantly, soon as you recognize any rapid or slow breathing, practice this square breathing. Practice it when you're not in the middle of that situation, so that when you come to the situation, remind yourself, okay, what's my breathing doing? And getting into that habit of square breathing. You need that oxygen going around your body to pump your blood. Help your brain function. So in a stressful situation, we might panic. It's that fight or flight response. So take control of your breathing. Another thing you could do is listen to your favorite song, or if you're a Christian, worship. Worship brings us out of ourselves, our situation, what's going on around us. Worship is taking the focus off of all of those and onto God. So when things are difficult, stressful, you feel like you can't handle it, look to Him. Put on that worship music. Or if you can't, for whatever reason, maybe you're out and about, just do it in your mind. Have a worship song that you go to. There are so many out there. Choose one, pick a few. And when you're in that situation, sing praises to the Lord, worship Him. And it's the same with prayer. Take us out of that situation. If you don't know what to pray, pray in tongues. Practice praying in tongues on a regular basis, so that when you come face to face in a difficult situation, you can just do it. And again, that takes your focus away from the situation and onto the Lord. Moving is another way of combating that immediate anxiety. If you can, go for a walk. Go for a bike ride. Get up and do some cleaning. Whatever it is, move your body. And that helps getting endorphins going and can balance out what is going on in your mind. You can also write or journal or record your voice on your phone, a voice recorder. This is a way of getting out all those thoughts that are going on in your mind. And another thing you can do is listen to a relaxation app. There are many biblical meditation apps out there, or you can practice biblical meditation yourself. So again, the more you practice it, when you're outside a stressful situation, the easier it'll become when you're in the middle of that situation or anxiety. We will have a look at biblical meditation further on in this course. And also there is some long-term help that you can get for anxiety. For instance, talking therapy, counseling, CBT, Christian-based cognitive behavioral therapy. And I'll put the link in the description. You also have support groups. Have a look online. Have a look in your area for different support groups that they may have available for you. You can learn to recognize your triggers as well. Start looking at and assessing what situation, what words that other people might say, what situations trigger your anxiety. When you learn and become aware of what these are, then you can start putting preventative measures in place, like what I've just told you, those breathing exercises. And also we have some more stress management techniques for you as well. Again, I will put the link in the description for you to download and keep so you can access it anytime you like. So what does the Bible say about fear and anxiety? Actually, 365 times in the Bible, that's one for every day of the year, it says, fear not, or do not worry. Check it out. Just some of these scriptures include Isaiah 41 verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And then 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. So that's just 2 examples of 365 scriptures that you can access in regards to anxiety. So check them out. Do some research. Meditate on these scriptures. And then when you're in that situation, remember those scriptures, meditate on them, repeat those verses, and remind yourself that he is with you and that you can cast your cares on him. I hope you enjoyed this session. I'll see you next time. God bless.